Alright, video gamers, we have successfully finished 2 whole playthroughs of Dispatch, the comic book video game, and we are now ready to give it our judgment and give it an objective score that is objectively the true score for the game, because art is objective. Only outputting that final note is a villain holding a chunky dog as hostage. Maybe Beef could have farted or something as really emphasize situation. I kind of like it, honestly, but I think it only works because they put real emphasis on Beef being around the entire game, and they make sure that he's in scenes with all the different characters too. So it kind of works narratively for me, because it's not just like, oh, that's the dog that we keep at home, and all we do is just have that thing at home, and maybe it has some stuff with Chase or whatever. It's actually you know, it's like a relatively central character, so it's a little bit believable to me that people would care. Pretty played now that he has pre-played the game to know what choices. Yeah, that would be so funny. I wonder, you think this guy's Trackstar? Is he gonna shoot this guy in the head? Oh. I don't have too much to say about this game, and that's mostly because it's just a story game, right? And I'm not necessarily great at like hyper-analyzing stories, but I'm gonna open the scene select. I think this game is really good. I think that they've done an excellent job of combining kind of a choice-based game with a very good looking animated game. Like, genuinely feels like you're watching 8 episodes of a show, right? Which is I think is super cool. So that's, I mean, that by itself is great. If you just want to watch an animated show and you don't really care about the choices too much, just like hit play and then just don't do anything, you know what I mean? And then you could just go through it. They should have had like an auto option for the dispatch thing, so you could just hit play and just watch watch the game unfold before you. I think the story is really good. I think they do a good job of. I think there's a lot that they could have potentially done differently, but I don't know if they could have done it better. Right? I think that Rob is a good character. I think that he's obviously very well acted, and I think all the other characters are similarly. They're all for the most part really fleshed out. They have compelling narratives attached to them. They have a really good team dynamic. They do a really good job of kind of like setting the tone with how the team is interacting with each other too, right? Where it's like, when we first start out, they're very antagonizing towards each other, and then they start working together, but then we have a bad thing after Chase, and they're all being quiet, and then we kind of start working together again. You know, there's a lot of stuff like that they do that's really good, I think, to really set the tone and to make it feel like, you know, these aren't just NPCs that are just doing whatever you tell them to do. They're actually real people. And even though it can be a little bit frustrating for the gameplay parts of the game, right? It's cool that you're like, oh, I want to send this person to do this. They're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or a person just run off and do their own thing, or if you like, we told Golem to stay outside the meeting room, so the next time I started sending Golem a mission, he just didn't do it. He just refused to do it, right? That's actually like an excellent way to do a narrative like this, because the dispatch elements of the game are actually like a real narrative element. It's not just you be like, oh Malevola, you go there, okay, Prism, you go there, right? It's like you're sending them together, you're upgrading them, you're giving them abilities. They have synergies when you send certain people to certain places. They have specific synergies for that. You might get a specific option if you send one person to some place, and that's really cool. And while, you know, what feels a bit sucky sometimes when you're like, I sent Waterboy to this fire thing and he didn't get a special ability for it or whatever. It's still cool that you can't really predict it. It makes the game feel a little bit more dynamic, I think. Little narrative harmony, yeah, sure, great word for it. Yeah, that's actually like I think that's like insanely good, well done. And I think the gameplay aspect of that is really good too, which is surprising, right? It isn't just a stupid thing where you go, oh, send this guy here, send that guy there. You actually have to make tough decisions of where to send people and how many people you send, because you don't know if it's going to have a mission coming up soon that might need this person, that person. So that's pretty cool. Would be frustrating if it was like its own game where those choices actually matter, right? Because ultimately none of that really makes a difference. So that would be frustrating, but I would play a whole game like that, like a flesh out mechanic like that. I would play a whole game like that. That was actually super entertaining. I was looking forward to it every time we did it. So that was just an excellent way to forward the story. And I think everything else that they did here, I think it all just kind of worked. I think they've established a good universe. I like all the different like powers they have. I love that there's some drawbacks to them. We haven't seen all the drawbacks for all the people. Maybe they have drawbacks we just haven't seen. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I would love to see more stuff in this universe, and I'm like very it was very compelling. Love the characters. Like all the villain characters are good. I think Coop is probably my least favorite character, and probably a lot of other people's least favorite character. But that's mostly just because like she just doesn't do much. I think the most interesting parts, which we should point out, was like during the missions, where she's like, "Oh, I'm reading this book. Oh, the power's out. I was just about to get to this part of the books." That's like the most interesting part of her entire character, which happens, you know, inside missions. So she could probably use a bit more build up, but I still think like she's decently set up. It's just not as good as the other characters. I think the two romance options are good. I think both Blonde Blazer and Invisigal are good. I think they're both really good characters. I really like Invisigal as a character, more so than Blonde Blazer, but both are really good characters. You know, I really that's that moment where Invisigal is like taking the picture of her like score like that. I feel like stuff like that just really sold it. There's a lot of stuff like that, like the keep ups up scene with Chase. Man, that's a real that's an insane moment. And it has a lot of good moments like that. So just like an overall super incredible game. And when I heard them talk about this briefly on Drop Frames, and Seek was like, he thought the game was really funny. I was like, ooh, I don't really should like laugh at games. That doesn't happen very frequently, but it was really funny. Like they really did a super good job of having scenes. They didn't marvelize it, where it's like everything has to be a joke. They did a good like balance of like, here's a funny moment, here's a sad moment. And not every sad moment had to be punctuated with someone, you know, farting into the microphone or something, right? That was excellently done, I think. Yeah, it was just a really solid experience. I think from like critiques for the story, I think it feels like so first of all, let's talk about, we played this twice. So is this worth playing twice? I would probably say no. And I would say no, because while there were some differences that were relatively significant from playthrough to playthrough, like, it's not worth going through every episode to see those few moments. Is this worth playing twice? Like, play it now and play it in like 5 years? Yeah, absolutely. Is it worth playing, you know, watching people play it? Yeah, absolutely, right? It has enough permutations that every playthrough could be different. But I think with the exception of some stuff, not really worth it. And that's fine. That's not really a huge criticism towards the game. A choice-based game doesn't have to have like giant, crazy, overarching endings or choice differences, right? And I think the way that this is fine. It's I would say it's above average. You know, it's good. Is where I would put it. The differences are enough that it's worth watching again. It's worth playing again like later probably, and they do enough changes that it's like a breath of fresh air doing another playthrough. But I was a little bit bored, kind of just sitting through the scenes that we've already seen, waiting to see if anything was different. So that's probably where I'm at with that. I think they did an overall good job with it, but I would love to see more permutations on that, especially when it comes to the romance options. It does feel a little bit like Investigal. I wouldn't call it like a canon romance, but it feels like leaning towards Investigal and having Blonde Blazer be kind of like your friend, companion, boss figure makes a bit more sense narratively, and that's only because like you have so many more scenes with Investigal. She's just so much more prevalent in the entire game, right? And that doesn't change if you romance Blonde Blazer. You just get like one more scene or something in with the date. You get like that one date scene. That's about it. So that's a little bit disappointing. I think they probably should have had less scenes with Investigal, more scenes with Blonde Blazer if you made that choice, right? They could have had like Blonde Blazer break into the warehouse or something. You know, there's a lot of stuff they could have done to make that feel a bit more appropriate. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like I definitely like the Investigal romance more, and it feels more fleshed out. And also it feels like when I romanced Investigal, Blonde Blazer didn't really care too much. You know, there weren't a lot of scenes where she's like behind us going like, you know, but with the Investigal, she's like constantly looks like a kicked puppy. Like I just feel really bad about it, right? It's like every time you're doing something with Blonde Blazer, it just feels like you're kicking Investigal in the throat. Yeah. Thank you, Strive. Perfect balance of non-farts to microphone moments and farting to microphone. Thank you. I appreciate that, you're right. There's a right compilation on YouTube to keep up. Yeah, I'll watch that for sure. From a story perspective too, I think two things that I would have probably done differently, like on the big scale. I think I would have had Shroud be a bit more prevalent throughout the entire plot. It's a bit weird that he shows up in episode 1 and then in episode, end of episode 7, episode 8. It works. It's fine. I didn't have any problems with playing the game the first time. It was one of those like, it feels like we're doing like a whole. We're doing like 7 episodes of setup for a fight at the end, basically, and it works because the characters are really really good. But if the characters weren't this good, it wouldn't work, right? Which isn't a criticism. It's just like a fact. It's like the game is being 100% carried on the back of the characters through these episodes because nothing super plot relevant really happens, right? Like. And I think the second thing, which this is like this is debatable, but I think an interesting thing they could have done with Mecha Man would be to have the mecha suit be a character. I think I would have liked that. I think that would have been interesting too. Would have maybe added a little bit more character to that whole arc a little bit. Could have been an interesting thing to do. But other than that, I think the game was really 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 solid. Is there anything else we should talk about before we... I have one more thing I want to say about... Man, this scene was so funny when he... It's not this one, I guess, but the one where he kissed me, that was so good. I can't do episode 8 because I did the replay thing. I think... so, one final big criticism for this. One giant hulking Omega tier criticism. Why the hell did we have this stupid ass interactive thing? What's the point of that? Seriously, guys. I started my first playthrough with it on, and I was like, oh, that's a little bit annoying. I don't want to have to keep pushing buttons in every cutscene. I kind of want to like lean back, just enjoy what's going on. And then we do a second playthrough, and I'm like, okay, let's just fail every event. Every QT event, right? Just fail all of them. And while there's 2 problems there. One, there's a lot of problems. One, the QT events are way too simple and they're not challenging and they don't feel very interactive.
Amazing.
2, I have to end stream soon, but thank you so much, Mortis. I appreciate it. I'll do some shoutouts for you. Why are you ending stream so early? What the hell? What the hell is this? What's up, Kaiman?
Motherfucker!
Ah! What the hell? Sounds... I've never heard Mortis do while playing a horror game, but while playing Mario, of course.
Finally, is Inazuma. Inazuma. Nailed it.
You better generate someone because I had no one else to raid. I'll see who was online. But if you had no one to raid, I don't know how I'll have to raid.
A lot of,
I love this game.
I guess.
I loved this game as a kid.
Sure hope.
This game was incredible.
It's not something else.
Come.
Get your mind out of the gutter, chat. I didn't say anything.
Come. Alright, thank you so much for the raid. Super appreciate that. Here's a shout out. I think it was pretty cool. Super short though. You just finished your video game. Everyone please go follow Mortis, click the button. Endaline here, video broadcaster. We just finished Dispatch for the 2nd time. So I'm like in giga spoiler territory right now. I'm talking about all the spoilers. If you plan to play the game, which you absolutely should, then avert thine eyes and ears. 3-hour game. Ow. What is Metal Garden? Metal Garden game. The world yearns to be explored. That's kind of cool. Oh, that sounds kind of cool. Add to wish list. Alright, like I said, thank you so much, Mortis. I actually have a tabletop game to attend to. That should have been at 60 minutes ago though, so. Alright, anyway, I need to finish this review. Okay, so we were talking about the quick time events. 1. Quick time events, way too easy. They're way too easy, they're not interactive enough, right? Most of them, there's like click the left mouse button, click the left mouse button, drag it, right? Not interesting at all. If you're gonna have a system like this, it should probably have more interactivity, right? I should probably feel a bit more challenged by the events. 2, they're insanely infrequent. Like we're talking about, they show up 3 times in the game. Why even have it happen, right? If you're gonna have a setting for something that happens 3 times in the game in 3 scenes, really? And 3 times in the game, 3. They don't really change much, right? Like they're kind of inconsequential. When I turned them off originally, people on Reddit were saying like, oh, they're just for aura farming, right? If you do the quick time events and the aura farm, you look cooler. But if you have quick time events off, you just do that automatically. And if you fail them, there are some few scenes that are slightly different, but ultimately nothing changes, right? There's no huge different outcome depending on if you fail or don't fail the QTEs. So what's the point, right? I think if you're gonna do QTEs, you should at least maybe 2 of the 3 we mentioned, right? Maybe 2, but at least 1. Either it needs to be challenging, so it's actually engaging to do, or it needs to be frequent, that is something that like actually interacts with the game in some meaningful way, right? Or 3, it needs to be it needs to change the game. I would say you need at least 2 of these. Maybe you can get away with challenging or changing the game, but I would say at least 2 of these as up and right. And the fact that it's so infrequent, it's just like, why? What's the point even? It just feels like they wasted development time on this, just so some people would be happy. And there's probably a reason that's at the very start of the game too, because if you play like a demo or you watch someone play the game, you'll see these cool like, oh shit, push the right. You'll feel like it's going to be very engaging. So it feels maybe a little bit deceptive, I guess. I don't know if that's fair or not, but that's where our brain is at. Alright everyone, we're gonna jump over here. Let's I don't really have time for this, but I want to see what, I mean, it's gonna be overwhelmingly positive, I assume, right? Yeah. I just want to see what negative people have had to say about this. I always love reading the negative reviews. Oh, this one review reminded me of something. I do think that the dispatch gameplay was really good, but I do also feel like the fact that it's so inconsequential should also be something that matters, right? You can technically just like AFK the entire thing and it won't make any real difference. I guess maybe part of that is how much Invisical trusts you, but other than that, as far as I can tell, nothing's going to be different at the end of the game if you just fail the entire thing, right? So that's also that's something it feels like they should have done something about, I guess. It does not really actually affect the story nearly as much as it might seem. It might be a good entry point for people. I like this is true, but also I feel like there's 2 things we have to. I feel there's 2 things that are important to understand from a choice perspective in games like this, which is 1, the choices mattering shouldn't matter as much as if you think they matter, right? I talked about this when I played. I didn't play it on stream, but I talked about this for Telltale games like Game of Thrones. I played the Game of Thrones Telltale game, and I thought it was incredible. And I was like, oh my god, all these choices. So I went and played it again, and I realized that none of the choices matter, basically, right? But then it's like, and then I hated it. But ultimately, it doesn't matter if the choices don't make a difference if you think they do, right? Like, what's the difference? I had a really good time playing it the original time because I thought they were important. And the same in this one. It feels like the choices are important. And to some extent, you are changing the story to the extent that you can expect in a game like this, right? Like, it's almost impossible to have a game like this where you make a choice and then the whole story changes. But I would say overall the choices are good enough in this. I would say they're on the good level. They're above average. So I don't agree with that. I will not elaborate. Not worth the price. Do you think this guy was mad because he's woke? No replay value. Oh. This guy played the game for 1 hour. Firelock here played the game for 1 hour. I mean, it's fun. It gets repetitive after a while, but it's fun until then. Bro, you played the game for 1 hour. What do you mean it gets repetitive? Oh, he played the majority of the game in offline mode. In an attempt to defeat remote data gathering. Okay. Sure. Here. Alright, on the Endline scale, we have a 10 full amount space, 9 hours to play this, 8 great experience for playing, 7 good play sounds fun, 6 alright play if you like the genre, 5 average, 4 still functioning game, 3 barely playing, 2 everyone should go with this, 1 no general qualities. I think this is a extremely solid game that was worth playing literally twice in a row on stream. It didn't overstay its welcome. The episodes are episode length. They're about an hour each. Really good. Voice acting top tier. Animations top tier. Like, it's like watching an actual animated show. There's no difference. Gameplay overall fun. The choices overall good. And plus an interesting universe. So obviously this is going in the 9s. I don't think there's any debate on that. The question is just how deep into the 9s we go with it. I'm trying to think like I'm trying to think what the negatives are. Negatives are gameplay is a little bit too simplistic. QTE events are pointless. The choices could be better, but they are still pretty decent. Some narrative hiccups, I would say. Some choice / narrative hiccups where some choices feel easier than others and some choices feel like they are more punishing than others. And there's one more thing, but I can't remember what it was. There's probably a few more like a few negatives against the game. I'd put this at like I put it like a 9.4. I think that's a good spot for it. That's very little they would have to do to clean this up to make it like a oh, I was gonna say the superpower thing, and you know it's not a big deal, but I think a little bit more consistency on the superpowers would make me enjoy the game a little bit more. This is not a huge hangup. This is very small, and but I also think I think Trackstar is a little bit too powerful with the Blondie suit. And that kind of put me out of the ending a little bit. So, not a big rap against the game. It's a super game, whatever. Right? I'm not gonna super overanalyze it, but yeah, pretty much where we're at. So, let's look at credit score. Credit score is a 8.7. Streamed. Yep. Played. Yep. Cool. Oh, we played this for. We did 2 playthroughs though, but we played it for 17.4 hours. Damn, that's crazy, right? 2 playthroughs, 17.4 hours. I wish way more games to do this. Alright, video gamers, that's gonna be for me. I love you all, appreciate you all. I will be back on Tuesday, regular time at 10:00 no time, 10 a.m. DMT +1. Scheduled on there, local time zones, all that good stuff. We'll be spinning the wheel. Here, I'll bring the wheel up. We're gonna be spinning this bad boy to decide what we play. I'm not gonna pre-spin it. We're gonna do it live on the day, so I will have no idea what the hell we're doing. So that should be a overall fun experience. I realized there's some games on there that I should have removed because I already played them, but we'll deal with that problem when we get there. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. We're gonna be doing some wheel spinning. We're probably gonna spin the wheel. I said like 10 times, but it depends what games we spin. We've already played. Oh, I got it here too. We've played. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, 7 games so far this year. So that's pretty good. We're gonna break our game record this year. I feel it. Surely we won't end up playing Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader or whatever. Let me go see who's streaming. Let me go see if I can send anyone anywhere. Wow, it's like an actual wasteland in here. 1 second. What happened to everyone streaming? Okay. Thank you much for the raid. Super appreciate that. Everyone, please go check Motos out if you haven't already. Go down there. I need to re-equip my rating. You need someone? If you have someone, sure. But I have to raid and dip those. I don't like raid. I have to like leave instantly. I don't even have time to stay for the like. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the raid things. I probably just leave. I feel so awkward raiding people I haven't raided before. If I have to like I don't have 3 seconds to even say. So that's usually why I don't raid new people. I think I'll just call it for today, and then you know we'll up to you. Yeah, I'll call for that, but I can put Raito games on my list, and I'll have some to raid in the future when I have a few seconds. Hey, love you all, appreciate you all. This was a great game. Super enjoyed it. If you're new here, feel free to stream on Discord. Good stuff. I'll be back regular time on Tuesday, like I said. We'll be spinning the wheel, playing incredible video games. Love you all, appreciate you all. Keep fighting for us. Have a good rest of your Sundays. Bye bye.